Hi, I'm Leroy, and this part of the course will walk through some of the key players you'll meet in your fundraising journey. Also, we'll explain the key steps that you will need to do in your fundraising process. Finally, we'll share with you what we've seen from startup investors, what they look for in the startups. So the first key player in your startup journey is probably going to be your co-founders. These are very important people to you. They will probably share quite a big portion of your company. Sometimes if a startup is started by two founders, it's very common that they split equal share of the company. It is very, very important to find the right co-founders. Some people say startups fail because of lack of money, or maybe there's not a product market fit. But what we've seen most of the time is because of key conflicts amongst the co-founders. So you want to find the right people who share the same vision, who is willing to put in the same hard work as you do. It is very important for you to spend time to find the right partners who will go through this journey with you. The next key players you're likely going to meet will be what we call triple Fs. Your friends, families, or fools, people who are crazy enough to invest in your startups at this stage. These people are generally quite close to you. They perhaps like what you do and they want to support your project. Their funding amounts may not be that high, but it's really the emotional support that matters. At the same time, you don't want to have too many of these people having a small ownership of your company, because this could create a very complicated cap table which might not be attractive for your later stage investors. The next key player is angel investor. In the past, angel investors are generally referred to people who are extremely rich, who want to go back to the hometown and they want to give back. They want to support something that they agree with. These days, there are a lot more people getting into angel investment. People who might not be as rich, but they still want to support a startup, a project that they like. So these people, although they expect to have returns for their investments, they're more looking forward to something that they share the same vision. It's very important to find angel investors who can help you not just from a capital standpoint, but they can also help you from an industry or from other resources standpoint. Next, let's talk about accelerators. Again, people have different interpretation of what an accelerator is. Generally speaking, accelerators are programs that are run anywhere from 3 to 6 months, where they provide a lot of training and mentorship support. Some of these accelerators invest in startups too. They invest anything from 3, 5, 8%. And typically, they invest in a lower valuation. This is because they provide all the support that you need throughout that 3 to 6 months period. In many accelerator programs, there's a demo day at the end. This is where you can showcase your startups to many investors. This is a great way to get exposures to some of your potential investors down the road. VCs, venture capitalists. These people are professional investors who invest in startups. There are many different roles within the VC. You see a title called general partners. These are the people who run the VCs. These are the people who actually make the investment decisions. There are also some people called the LPs, limited partners. These are the people who provide some money to the GPs to make investment into startups. You will also see other titles like venture partners, associate, and so on. Because different VCs have different investment focus, and they focus on different stages of startups. Some VCs invest in seed stage, some VCs invest in Series A, some VCs invest in later stage. These focus are agreed amongst the GPs and the LPs. So it is also important for startups to understand what are the investment focus of the VCs. If the VCs don't invest in you, it does not mean you're bad. It could simply means that your industry is not their focus, or perhaps you're not at the same stage that they are willing to invest in. Another player is FA, financial advisory. These are people who help make a deal come together. Typically, we see that more in larger deals such as PE deals. For early stage startups, it is important for you to establish your connection with the investor directly. While it may be useful sometimes for FA to help you with it, you still need to spend the time and effort to make that connection with your investors. Finally, corporate VCs. Many large corporates are establishing their own VC arms. Corporate VCs also invest in startups, but they invest in startups not purely from a financial return standpoint. They want to invest in startups who can grow and mature into a business that can complement their own existing business. So as a startup, if you apply to these corporate VC programs, what you want to see is whether there's a strategic fit among your startup and with these large corporates. Okay, now let's talk about the fundraising process. I'll break this down into 4 steps. The first one is introduction and meetup. It is important to find the right way to meet your investors. You can do this through emails, LinkedIn connection, and so on. But the most effective one is warm referral. You want to be introduced to the VCs through someone you mutually know. That helps build the initial trust and confidence. The next step is relationship building. The whole process is about building relationships. It's not that common for VC to meet a startup and immediately they will invest in the company. Generally, it will take some time to see some attraction, get to know each other, especially we are referring to early stage investments. So it's really a relationship building process. From the day you reach out to the investors, to all the meetup you have in Starbucks and so on, to the day they decided they would want to invest in you. So it's a long relationship building process. It's something that startups need to be aware of. Next, once the investor is comfortable with the startup, they may offer something called term sheet. Basically, the terms and conditions that they're willing to invest in the company. After that, once everything is agreed, they will perform a due diligence process, basically checking whether the company, the startup, is in line with their understanding. The final step is deal closing. Once the term sheet is agreed and the due diligence process is completed, then there will be a set of legal documents that you need to agree upon. And finally, once that is done, you get your money. So let's talk about what the investor look for. Well, first of all, every investor is different. So it's very difficult to search a common answer. But typically, these are the things that most investors of early stage startups look for. So first, typically they look for this question: why this? Why you? Why now? Why this? Whether this is a topic that they see is important, that they see that can have good business model. Why you? But why you? Why you are someone who can tackle this problem? Finally, why now? It's not just because you want to do this, but why the market needs this solution now. So timing is important. Timing is everything. Second, they look for the background of the founders. It's not enough to show the investors that you have an engineering degree or marketing degree. You need to be able to show them what you have accomplished before. A lot of the early stage startups commit a mistake of just explaining the interest, the ideas. But this is not what the investors are looking for. Sometimes early stage startup founders focus too much on the vision, some sort of high-level pictures. Those are important, those are good. Also, it is important for you to demonstrate the traction. What are the things that you have accomplished? What are the things that market respond well to your product? It has to be data-driven. Then we talk about some numbers. But it's important for you to understand the valuation, the amount of money that you look for. It's not good to be wishy-washy. You want to be quite clear about the amount that you're raising and the valuation that you've decided on. Finally, you also provide a lot of different financial projections. While these financial projections can varies quite a bit, it's important for you to explain to your investors the assumptions. Why? Why are you expecting to have this growth? Why are you expecting to break even? Why are you expecting all these different scenarios? It's important for you to explain to your investors and give them confidence why these financial projections are valid. So in this section, we talked about some of the key players that you're likely to meet in your fundraising journey. We talked about the key steps that you encounter in your fundraising activities. We've also shared with you some of the things that investors typically look for in early stage startups. We hope you enjoy the content, that you find them useful, and look forward to seeing you all in our Term Sheet Bootcamp. Thank you.